We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Steve and Jack Butala.
and I'm Jill DeWit, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2208. Jill and I are talking about revisiting the why behind your land business. I love this topic. I ask myself, what the hell, why are you doing what you're doing right now, Jack? Why do you live in the house that you live in? Why have your children made the choices that they've made? Let's think and talk about it.
Why have you fallen in love with plaid? I have all kinds of whys. Actually, let's pause here for a moment, shall we? Let's just come back to this. When was the last? Well, I can think of one nice dinner we went to where you didn't wear plaid in the last 2 weeks, but that's the only such example I have. What is it with plaid?
So it started last year.
Okay.
And this is part of the topic. You should be able to answer questions just like this. You shouldn't sit and say, oh my God, I don't know why I've been wearing this shade of lipstick since high school. You should know that. I don't know why I ended up with 17 children.
I want to know your plaid. Keep going. Don't try to divert from the topic.
The answer to the topic is this. It started when we took our third summer-long RV trip, which was the most recent summer, in Durango. And I went and we were there and I was out of place. I was out of place in these mountain towns during the summertime. I was dressing like a college kid. And which, that's where my lipstick comment just came from. Why am I dressing like a college kid? I couldn't answer that. So how about we dress a little bit more?
So you landed on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've probably worn it out by now.
No. A little change would be okay. The best is last Thursday when we both wore plaid and everybody went, whoa.
Everybody, meaning everyone who works for us.
Because I have one plaid shirt and I wore it last week and then it was like too much plaid.
It hasn't aired yet. So
you're going to go off plaid and I'm going
here's
to
the
start
point.
wearing plaid.
Here's
It'd be
the
funny.
Point. You should really hold yourself to a standard of self-awareness where you know why you're doing what you're doing, because I'm telling you, you're going to wake up 10 years from now or 20 years from now and wondering why you put up with your boss's crap for all this time, or why are you letting your spouse push you around so much, or some version of that. I think this is really healthy to ask yourself, why am I buying and selling land? Or why am I trying so hard when it's not working? Or why don't I hire somebody to do this mailer? Because I'm having great success. I hate doing mailers. I got to find somebody to do that.
This is therapy hour.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Yeah.
That's what this topic is. That's why I like it. Each day on the show, we answer a question from our Land Academy member Discord forum. Take a deep dive into land-related topics by your request.
Okay. Joseph tells a story here. All right. So, Virginia land mystery. 12 acres, 1 black walnut, and 0 boundaries. I recently chased down a 12-acre parcel in rural Virginia.
I love this story.
On paper, it looked like a dream. Similar parcels go for $300,000 plus. I offered $160,000, and after some digging, the owner's daughter just wanted $15,000 to get rid of it. But there was one catch. No one can say where the land actually is. Familiar with this? The deed on file was written before 1871, likely during the pre-Civil War, and opens with, beginning at a small black walnut tree. Yep. It goes on to reference chestnut trees, long gone from the region, and contains no reference to adjoining parcels. No plat, no markers, just vague poetic directions. Local records aren't much help. The cadastral layer for the area is incomplete, and every surveyor I spoke to was fascinated but baffled. The town's planning department couldn't locate it either. Then came the historical twist. During the Civil War, courthouses emptied out their documents to protect them from being burned or seized. If a map ever existed, there's a real chance it was lost during that shuffle. Now the only way to move forward for the owner would be to hire a land use attorney to claim an undefined tract and define it from scratch. Essentially, scratch some lines on a map and then defend it as their 12 acres. Would I still buy it? Maybe. If we can triangulate the location using parcels with similar APNs but equally vague deeds, there's a path. But it would take collaboration, deep historical knowledge of this mountain range, creativity, and a budget.
And trust.
And time. Sometimes the land wants to be found. Other times it disappears into the woods and dares you to follow. Boy, this sounds like Oklahoma to me, but I understand.
Sounds like Taos, New Mexico to me.
Yeah.
This is not
God
the only
knows.
place where this happens. And I'll tell you, over the years, so millions and millions of letters and responses. We're not too new to this, but if you're new, this shouldn't scare you. It doesn't happen very often. The survey system is a hodgepodge of systems in our relatively new country. For example, the survey system in all of Texas is based on railroad lines. It's not based on a meets and bounds range township system like most of the country. Specifically, Virginia makes no sense. Mm-hmm. There's crazy stuff. What I would say here, and I know you're not looking for an answer, it's kind of just sharing a story, which I love, is to find out where other people's properties are not. So if there's some void space between, let's say, hopefully 3 or 4 people, maybe even 2, and nobody really knows who owns it, the chances are they've already claimed it anyway. Mm-hmm. And I think from an easement, in use or something, I can't remember from back in the day, but if you've used a property for more than 10 years and no one's contested it, there's an argument, and a really good argument, that if it gets contested, someone's going to say, and this is so old, someone's going to say, I had been parking my car there for my grandmother parked her
driving over it for 20 years. Yeah. No one ever said it, so now it's an easement by something.
Opportunity or something. I don't remember. Yeah. Love the story. I understand, and I feel for the owner.
Isn't it amazing when you see those? I haven't seen one. You're right, and well, especially nowadays too. We're not dealing with as much rural land as we used to be. Now I'm, budget-wise and experience-wise, mostly budget-wise, we're going in different areas. But goodness, back in the day, when I first started with you, I would see more of those deeds because we're just buying stuff way the heck out there. And it might be you start at this rock, you go to this tree, go down to the road, come up to this, and then you cut in. Like, that's illegal, but that was illegal.
It's like the box at the end of Shawshank Redemption.
I don't remember. Oh, what's in there's nothing in the box.
Money. And directions. And a secret note.
I don't remember that. That's a guy thing. Jeez. That's like the moral of high society.
What is?
Thank you. It's the same thing, like the box.
I thought high society didn't have any morals.
Jeez. No. There is an underlying moral under that movie, but anyway.
Welcome to Friday Night with Steve and Jill after 2 scotches each.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Today's topic, revisiting the why behind your land business. Like I said earlier.
Why are we here? Why are you listening? Why is he wearing plaid, and why did you go brunette again? That's the whys that I want to know.
One of the reasons that Jill and I endure time together is because
that's loving.
Jill tends to skip along the top and make fun of everything, and I tend to overanalyze and really try to get to the bottom of everything. So I have no choice at a certain point where I have to give in and just start laughing with everybody instead of saying, guys, this is actually really serious. We're trying to split an atom here.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Rarely does it work the other
me.
way, where Jill's like, I'll stop laughing and horsing around. We really do have to talk about this atom.
No, I'll figure it out. I'm like, I know you're going to get to it without me. You don't need me.
The reason that you should be in the land business or want to get into the land business, because you're sitting there asking yourself why, is because it's crazy profitable, it makes sense to you, and you have control over your life. My life goal has been to not work. My whole life goal.
Oh, you're saying you personally or listener?
Not to work. And I found that me personally, buying and selling land up to and including yesterday was the easiest way to accomplish that. I do not think Jill's life goal has been, I don't mean not work, try hard, not put in my all or any of that. I mean, not work in an accounting office the rest of my life for somebody else.
My goals were different. Do you want to know mine?
I would.
No, mine were this. Again, this came back from my dad. I was raised with his whole thing was, I'm going to find a career where I don't have to work very much and I make a lot of money.
I think that's the fantastic parental
And
advice.
he did. So there were three. He went into flying, became a commercial pilot, and at the end, he nailed it, man. He was gone, I don't know, a couple days, a quarter, and got paid very well. Then he also did some real estate. I'm trying to think. And then he was trying to learn other trading things, which was not his thing. That wasn't his forte. He wasn't fast enough for that. But even before that, though, I grew up in Southern California. We've talked about this before on the show. I watched what was going on around me. I got to fly in Don Cole's helicopter and the Super Shops guy's plane, and the Hughes aircraft plane and stuff like that. Well, you know what? If you know, you know.
If you're from Central Orange County, you know who this one person might be.
You're from Newport Beach or Southern California or Irvine, you know what that is.
Most of you don't know where Orange County is. And most of you are saying, oh, Orange County, Florida, sure, I've been there.
I mean, California. Anyway, but I knew about these very prominent, wealthy developers where I grew up. And I remember going, well, how do you get this? And it was, well, shoot, you're in real estate. Oh, and duh. That's why would I not do that?
I was very fortunate.
That was my why.
At a young age to be exposed to wealthy people also, and knew that I wanted to have control of my own time and not have to worry about money. I don't really mean not work. I just mean remove money from my life as a variable. Mm-hmm. So those are the reasons that you as a young person or wherever you are in your career, if you're thinking about buying and selling real estate, if those are the things you want and you want it bad enough, man, this is an amazing vehicle. You know that I have one more why that is important to me, that I know is important to a lot of our community, so it might be important to you listening. Having a legacy company and teaching your family how to always put food on the table is super important to me, and I see it in Land Academy. We have parents and kids. We have siblings doing it. We have, I'm bringing in my dad. I'm bringing in my whatever. There's a lot of that going on because once you figure it out and you realize, we could do this as a family and we could all do really well and not have to work that hard, by the way. It's beautiful. I think that's an important why. Look, the whole message here is, I'll wrap it up on this. You should know why about everything in your entire life, every step of the way. And then at some point, often I think it happens to me anyway, it's like, why are you doing this? Oh, maybe I shouldn't. Or maybe I should do it another way. It keeps you on the right path. It makes me think of this, I can end it on this. Those, when a toddler, we all know those 2-year-olds and all they keep doing, but why? But why? And you just want to smack them because it just gets too much. That's me. Yeah. Is that what you're trying to say? A little bit. Join us next week where we discuss non-violent topics concerning your land business. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. We are Jack and Jill. Information and enduring it all. to buy undervalued property. Oh, thanks, Jill. Sorry. You're going to finish for me there. Go ahead. Why? Why does she? We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button. And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.